Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the next part of same series. I'm Waqar Ahmed, and in today's video I'm gonna discuss past perfect just to continue our series of tense category. So first of all, even before starting the analysis or parsing our structures I have written on the board, I would like to give you a general identification or a simple definition of past perfect, right? So here you could look at the board. The first one, basic meaning, is earlier. So the past perfect basic meaning is earlier, an action which happened in the past but earlier than a certain moment right in the past, right? So now moving towards the structures. First of all, we have affirmative like in others. Subject, we put the subject first in affirmative structure, and then we have had, right? After had we have a verb, and verb is going to be in past participle form or third form, as I mentioned in the last part, which was present perfect, right? And the reason I have put here had, because it's not present perfect. If it were present perfect, I would put there obviously have slash or has according to the nature of pronoun or subject. But since this is a past tense, we are going to use the past form of have, which is had, right? So had plus verb, main verb is in third form or past participle form plus extra word, right? Moving towards the negative structure, subject plus had and plus not to show negation, right? Since this is a negative statement, plus verb is in past participle form or third form, then we have extra word. Next is interrogative. As I have told you many times before as well, that we start interrogative sentences with auxiliary verb to give it a sense or to give it a sign of question, which is confirmative question, right? So first put the helping verb, keep that in mind. Has, have, had, are all these three forms are the helping verbs, auxiliary verbs forms, right? This is an auxiliary verb, helping verb plus subject plus verb. And which form of verb? That's right, if you said third form or past participle form, then you were correct. Plus extra word. Now I have written about 6 example sentences related to our tense category of today, which is past perfect. I would like to now uh, speak one by one all of these 6 sentences for you so that you could better understand. The first one is when I, this is actually respond, I'm sorry. When I responded him, comma, he, this is the contraction of he had, right? He had. This is how he and had are contracted in formal language. He had got offline. It means before I responded him, he had become offline. He was not online, right? So this response given action of being responded of him was done after he had got offline. So after his becoming offline, this second action happened, right? So this is the particular moment of the past, right, before which this certain action happened, right? So this happened before this one action. This one action happened after this. So this is the certain moment. This is the certain moment before which this happened, as we have discussed at the beginning of this lecture. Now moving toward the second example sentence. I thought I had returned you pen. I thought I had returned you pen. So the pen that I borrowed from you, the pen you lent me, I thought I had returned you. This was the second. Third one example, if I had studied, past perfect tense, right clause. This is a clause actually, it's not a sentence because there is a comma and both clauses are being connected. I have joined. If I had studied, past perfect clause, I would have, I'm sorry, not get. I would have got. I would have got through. To get through means to qualify, to pass out, right? So if I had studied, I would have got through. I didn't study, I didn't get through, right? Now the fourth one, we had intended to buy ice cream. We had intended to buy ice cream. Since we had no money, we didn't buy. Okay, next one. It was the first time that he had. Again, contraction of, uh, I'm going to write down here. He had. Contraction of he had, right? It was the first time that he had loved. Let's say it was the first time that he had laughed at you. He didn't laugh ever before. So it was the first time that he had loved. This is past perfect clause, right? Moving towards the last example of today. She had been sick for days, for many days, I can say. She had been sick, right? So these were the examples of present, past, perfect tense. And now specifically, I'm going to discuss some advanced points related to or regarding past perfect. Specifically, which can be called usages of past perfect, where else we can use them. Let's start with the second one, as the first one had been discussed before. Moving toward the second one directly. We use past perfect tense to compare two actions. We use past perfect tense to compare two actions happened in past. Right? Again, saying to compare two actions happened in past. To compare two actions. Right? It means this one example that we have looked at really fits the second usage of past perfect. Let's move back here. When I responded, he had got offline. When I responded him, so when I responded, he had got offline. This action happened, but after the second one. So here we are comparing two actions, right? But we are really doing is comparison. This one is approved. Moving towards the third one. After past verbs of saying and thinking, the verbs which relate to saying or thinking, we use past perfect tense. Even there. For example, you could look at it. I thought I had returned you pen. I thought I had returned you pen. So this is the verb of thinking, right? But I believed he had done it before. These both are the typical examples. Or he told me, he, third person singular pronoun, he told me. I'm giving one more example with the same, just to let you know of the usage of saying. He told me that he had been to America before. Next one. To say something, let me complete it as well. To say something had happened before. So in this one I have given the examples which really suit this one usage, but just to explain you more, I'm gonna give you further clarification of it. We use after past verbs of saying and thinking specifically to say that something had happened before saying. In the past, a person is saying something, so before he's saying, an action had happened, right? Or he was thinking in the past, an action had happened before he thought. Got it? So I don't need to give any more examples. Moving towards the first, second, and fourth one, unreal events in if clause. Let's look back here. Third one example of our today's class. If I had studied, I would have got through. If I had studied, this is called the if clause, right? I had told you this is a clause. It's no more. It's not a complete sentence, right? So if clause, we use uh, this fourth one usage. We use uh, unreal for unreal events in if clause, right? And not only do we use in if clauses, but also in wishful sentences. And I'm gonna give you a typical example. I wish I had spoken to my father what I wanted to. right? Moving towards the next one, unrealized hopes and wishes. This one, usage of past perfect can be approved when we look at this one example. Example number 4. We had intended to buy ice cream. This was our wish to buy ice cream. Since we had no money, we were not able to buy, or we couldn't buy, right? We didn't manage to buy actually. Moving towards the next one, we also use past perfect with it was with the with the with it was the first and second time with the I guess that these are called cardinal adjectives or ordinal adjectives, first, second, and third. I don't exactly remember what these are called. Can you please pause it for Azan? Yes, so we took a break for the response to Holy Voice. Now moving back, let's proceed. With I was saying, yes, I was saying, I don't know if that is, I don't have right now on my mind whether it's called cardinal or ordinal adjective, these first, second. Um, we are gonna do the inshallah we are gonna do the video lesson on that as well. So we use past perfect tense with it was the first time, with these kinds of phrases or clause. This is actually with it was the first time, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, and so on. You could put any adjective, right? Now time, then we add there that. Afterwards we use past perfect tense. Let's look at the typical example here. It was the first time that he had loved, or it was the second time that I had watched that cartoon, or it was the fifth time that she had asked the same question. These are the examples. Now the last one usage, we even use past perfect to show how long something had continued up to a past moment, right? So here's the typical example. We want to show that how long an action or situation continued for in the past time. And here is the example of that. She had been sick. I can't say that she was sick for 2 days. This is not continuous actually. This is past perfect. This is not past perfect continuous, right? So I was not able to say, I mean to say, I was not allowed to say that she was sick for days, for many days, or for long. No, this would be wrong if I said like this. So I have to say here, she had been sick for days, just to be more correct, right? So that's all from my side, at least for this one part, and inshallah we are going to do the next video lesson just to continue our this series. So just allow me to go at least for this part, and inshallah see you again. Till then, take care and Allah Hafiz.